Today, Volkswagen Polo 6 and 1 replacing timing belt. Today I show you how I replace the timing belt from my VW Polo 1.0 liters. I will install to demonstrate the same parts again, as I have no more use for this engine, and will therefore installing any new parts. The engine code is ALL. I will show you how I complete the timing belt kit in cull. Tension pulley, water pump replaced. Which tools do we need for the change? I show you now. Standard bit set with ratchet. 2 gloves to protect hands against cuts. Before we start, the engine must be cooled down completely. Okay, let's go. First, secure the motor from the bottom with a car lifter, because we have to dismantle the upper engine mount to replace the timing belt. Now we remove the belt. We turn the tension pulley to the right until the limit and remove the belt. And now we remove the upper engine mount, and move the motor a little with the car lifter down. Then we open the upper timing belt housing. As you can see, this timing belt is porous, and must be replaced. Now we remove the pulley of the crankshaft, and before, we spray rust releaser on the screws, and the central screw. Please be careful and only use appropriate tools. About 10 minutes after spraying rust releaser we remove the 4 screws. The engine must only be turned to the right. Now we remove the pulley of the crankshaft. And then, we remove the lower timing belt housing. We must turn the engine downside at the crankshaft right to the up and downside the yacht mark can be seen. Please use only suitable tools again. The pimple on the crankshaft must be opposite the bar or on the engine. The pimple on the camshaft must be opposite the arrow stand on the motor. Mark the locked points with a tire marker. Now we remove the tensioner. Please take care. Crankshaft and camshaft timing belt cannot now longer be rotated. Now check the timing belt for damage. If you want to install the old timing belt again, mark now on timing belt with an arrow, as the timing belt had previously been mounted. Be careful, because a twisted assembly may be tearing the timing belt, and it can lead to engine damage. We remove the lower engine mount. Now we remove the water pump. Pull the sealing ring from, and exactly clean the contact surface on the engine. Always use only new gaskets. Now we install the virtual new parts. Put the new seal on the water pump. Now we screw the housing back firmly to the water pump. Please note that proper to work and apply. Next, we install the tensioner. Attention! The fork must surround the screw on the motor. Ensure precise fit. Important note. It may drop no cooling water on the timing belt, because the cooling water makes the belt porous, and then is rip danger. Now mount the motor bracket. Use for example Loctite on the threads of the screws, so they do not become loose. Please note the correct torque. Now place the belt on the gears. We now tighten the tensioner until the arrow in the center of the fork, and then screw the tensioner pulley. Now we check if the timing belt exactly on the gears, and whether the yacht markings are correct. Before mounting the housing, start the engine and make it the run of the timing belt. If you have long hair, please tie and cap it there, because very dangerous for injury. Keep attention to correct tension by the timing belt. The timing belt must be free to turn in the middle of the longest side to about 45-50 degrees. And now we on the crankshaft, so turn the engine down to full rotations 720 degrees to the right, and then check whether the odd marking is correct. Please turn the engine only down on the crankshaft, and not on the camshaft, because otherwise the timing belt is damaged. The marked points are facing correctly. We are now building the engine on together. Now install the lower shroud. Lift up now the tension roller to the right and fix it the roll with a splint. You can now turn the screw in the housing behind the tensioner again. Assemble now the wheel of the crankshaft, and pay attention to the pimple in the bore. Turn the screws with correct torque firmly. And finally, mount the upper timing belt housing. Mission completed. I hope I have helped you, and I wish you much fun at work. Disclaimer: there is no warranty for the accuracy and completeness of the works shown. Please ask a professional mechanic with license before you try to repair it yourself. Please statutory safety instructions to get no injuries. Thank you very much.